Introduction. TCL Corporation was founded in 1981, which is one of the largest consumer electronics enterprises in China, with a global presence. TCL owns up to 5 listed companies with a total revenue of over $16.51 billion in 2014. In 2015, its brand value raised up to $10.88 billion. Being one of the core industries in TCL Corporation, TCL Air Conditioner was established in 1999. Since then, it has become one of the leading air conditioner manufacturers in China, producing complete series of air conditioners including humidifiers and compressors. TCL Air Conditioner has established 5 production bases with annual production capacities of over 10 million sets, strong production capacities, and continuous QC improvement. TCL Air Conditioner is confident to provide worldwide users with more and more brilliant products with ultimate user experience. Air conditioner AC is a kind of special home appliance. The AC product after the delivery is only a semi-finished product, and it cannot be regarded as a qualified product unless it is installed properly. The vivid understanding of markets and the analysis of after-sales statistic data show that most of the situations of the water leakage, noise, freon leakage, and a poor cooling effect are caused by improper installation. Considering the importance of installation in the AC quality, we have shot the video of this specification and related requirements for the implementation reference of global service providers. Qualification of installers. Qualification of installers. The AC installers must be trained by the local or national accepted agency and qualified upon the assessment, and they must obtain the professional certificate. Common essential tools. Monkey spanner, sealing pincer, torque wrench, nipper plier, digital multimeter, flaring tools, pipe cutting device, cross screw driver, flat screw driver, hex wrench, flat mouth plier, safety belt, vacuum pump, welding tools, refrigerant pipe for gas charge, gas bottle, leakage test meter, pressure gauge, hand drill, core drill, head of core drill for wall through, hammer, ruler, telephone booking and preparation for installation. The installers shall prepare the installation and maintenance tools according to the work content required after receiving the dispatching notice for installation. The installers shall place neatly and orderly the required installation and maintenance tools in the toolbox, and meanwhile prepare the auxiliary tools for installation, including safety belt, mattresses, shoe cover, etc. All items should be clean and tidy, free from any odor, and it is required to ensure the proper use of the standby items. The additional charging list, receipts or invoices, dispatching notice and installation report form, and installation report form, and other related information should be taken along. The related ID documents such as service card, etc., should be taken along for the identification by the user. Visiting service. After arriving at the domicile of the user, the installer shall retidy the clothing and go to the door to slowly tap the bell for a short time. If there is no bell and it is required to gently knock on the door, the standard action of knocking on the door is as follows: 3 consecutive knocks for 2 times. After the user opens the door, the installers shall firstly introduce themselves, identify the user, and show the service card. In the face-to-face communication with the user, The installers shall keep an appropriate distance from the user and maintain an upright posture according to the local customs. And they shall not take things in hands, and their eyes shall watch the user to show their respect and courtesy. The installers shall handle the products to be installed from the outside to the suitable location. After obtaining the consent of the user, the installers shall wear the shoes cover before entering the door. Be careful to handle the product, and do not damage the home supplies and walls of the user. Determination of installation position. The products of ordinary split-type air conditioners are mounted by two parts, namely installation of outdoor unit and installation of indoor unit. The installation of outdoor unit shall firstly take into consideration the relevant requirements of environmental protection and city appearance. In particular, the installation of outdoor unit in the famous buildings and ancient architecture and the buildings on two sides of the main urban streets shall comply with relevant regulations of the city appearance. The outdoor unit should be mounted on the well-ventilated position without rain or direct sunlight to ensure the easy maintenance of the machine. The installation position shall be sturdy and sufficient to withstand the weight of the unit. An adequate space should be preserved around the outdoor unit to facilitate the flow of the air and ensure the need of heat exchange of the machine. The installation of the outdoor unit must comply with the dimension requirements of the following figure. The outdoor unit should not be mounted close to the flammable and corrosive gas to avoid the fire. The drain hose of the outdoor unit shall be accessed to PVC pipe, and it may not affect the downstairs household and the user's own room. The indoor unit should be mounted in a position with the shortest distance from the outdoor unit and ensuring the connecting pipe is as short as possible, and an adequate space shall also kept around it. The height difference of the indoor unit from the outdoor unit may not be over 5 meters to avoid the use effect resulted from the difficulty of oil return. It is necessary to try the best to keep away from the TV, sound, computer, and other home appliances below the indoor unit. The distance of the indoor unit from various electrical equipment and heat source shall be at least 2 meters. The installation position of the indoor unit shall ensure its air can be evenly sent to each corner in the room. It is required to select the position close to the power supply according to the power supply manner and the length of power cord of the unit for purpose of facilitating the access of the power cord and trying the best to avoid the extension of the power cord. The indoor unit should be mounted in a position that cannot be reached by the children. It is required to select the specific installation position of the indoor or outdoor units, and if necessary, the relevant identification can be made. The installation operation can be carried out after obtaining the consent of the user. If the opinion of the user does not conform to the user requirements, the installer shall explain it patiently to the user and make the final positioning before the installation operation. Installation notes. It is strictly prohibited for the installer to power on the unit to avoid any safety accident before the end of the installation operation or during the dismantling process. TCL is entitled to supervise and check the safety construction of the service provider, who shall guarantee to take the effective measure of personal safety protection during the construction of his own installers in case of any accident due to the reasons of the service provider. The responsibility shall be assumed by the service provider. It is necessary to check whether the power outlet for air conditioner is equipped with a leakage protection switch and its special circuit lines. Otherwise, the user is required to rectify it before using it. If the length of power cord of the indoor unit fails to meet the installation needs, the whole power cord must be replaced to ensure the safety. Extension of copper tube. Due to the limitation of installation position, when the length of original copper tube is not sufficient, in principle, it is required to use the copper tube with sufficient length to replace the tube without sufficient length, so as to avoid the extension welding operation of the copper tube. If it is really necessary to lengthen the copper tube, it must use the tube of the same specification. It is strictly prohibited to directly implement the butt welding or neck welding. It is necessary to expand its cup before the welding to ensure the joint strength and sealing. Expansion of cup mouth. Put the copper tube in the pipe clamp and reserve a certain height, generally equal to the diameter of the copper pipe. Tighten it and press the qualified tube expander cone head on the rotary port, with one hand to hold the pipe clamp of the tube expander and another hand to rotate the handle of the tube expander uniformly and slowly until the cup or mouth is completed. The edge of pipe cup and pipe horn must be homogeneous and smooth, otherwise gas leakage easily occurs. Pipe cup must be made when pipe lengthened to ensure the strength of joint. High-quality pipe horn ensure no leakage. The installers shall wear the sunglasses and other devices to protect the eyes during the welding operations. Only the qualified personnel can use the welding tools to carry out the welding operations, and they shall strictly abide by the relevant safety operation regulations in the region concerned. After the copper tube is lengthened, it is required to replenish the refrigerant to the piping system to ensure a good running performance. The allowable maximum length of the connecting pipe and the refrigerant weight required by the lengthened pipeline are shown in the following table. After completing the installation, use the mixed plaster or earth scrap attached to block the hole and gap to prevent the rain and wind from entering the room. The plaster or other blocking materials shall be coordinated with the wall. Installation of indoor unit. Select a suitable location. Take out the mattress and lay it on the location, and then put the toolbox on the mattress. Open the packaging box of indoor unit. Take out the mounting plate and remote controller, and mount the batteries attached into the controller to observe its operation situation. Power on the indoor unit and conduct the trial operation by using the remote controller. And then observe the rotating situation of various parts, such as fan, swing, etc. In case of any abnormality, please adjust it immediately before the installation. Prepare and fix the mounting plate. Its position must be at least 15 centimeters away from the ceiling and above 15 centimeters from both sides. Level the mounting plate with a level and then completely fix it. Prepare the connecting pipes. 3 ways can be chosen for pipe alignment. The first way is to directly align the pipe toward the left side of the unit. The second way is to align the pipe toward the back of the unit. Press the elbow of right angle pipe with left hand and gently rotate upward it with right hand. It shall be noted that the force shall be light and the action shall be slow when bending the pipe to avoid the flattening of the pipes at the elbow or straight line section. Stop it after rotating it to 90 degrees. The third way is to align the pipe toward the right side. Take out the baffle and bend the pipe to 180 degrees as per the second way. However, it is not generally recommended to use this way in order to ensure the pipes unblocked. Please consult the following diagram for the 3 ways of the pipe alignment. Slide and slowly unfold the connecting pipe according to the required length. unfasten the sealing caps, nuts of input and output tubes of indoor unit with a wrench. Check the condition of the flare opening of connecting pipes. Connect the corresponding connecting pipes with the input and output tubes. The connected tubes must be flush and kept in a straight line. Fasten the nuts with hands and then tighten it with a torque wrench according to the reasonable torque. The torque of the connecting pipe shall refer to the following criteria. Apply to R410A connecting pipe nuts. Apply to R22 connecting pipe nut torque. Connect the drain hose and wrap it with adhesive tapes to make sure of no water leakage. Put the drain hose under the connecting pipe and wrap it with a power cord together. Do not squeeze the drain hose and make sure of no crossing or twisting. Wrapping direction of the pipelines shall be from the joint of indoor unit to evaporator. And then to the outdoor unit to prevent the water leakage due to the effusion of condensate from the insulation layer. Select the position of wall-through hole according to the location of mounting plate. Considering the drainage of the indoor unit, the position of wall-through hole shall be lower slightly than the indoor unit. The necessary dust-proof measures must be taken before boring with a hand drill. Move away the adjacent items and electrical appliances and cover the items and appliances with special clothing to collect the dust. Bore a hole at the wall-through position. Its diameter shall be somewhat bigger than the outer diameter of the wall feed-through sleeve to ensure the sleeve to pass through the hole smoothly. The wall-through hole shall be inclined downward in the outside of the wall to facilitate the water drainage. It is required to take the preventive measures of preventing the damage of flare opening and preventing the entry of silt into the connecting pipe while passing the pipe through the wall hole. Put the indoor unit onto the knuckles of mounting plate and move around the unit to check whether it is firmly fixed. Installation of outdoor unit. Safety tips before installation. The installers shall be careful in the installation process to avoid any accident such as slips, cuts, scratches, rub injury, burns, electric shock, falling, etc. The installers must tie the safety belts while they install the outdoor unit on the buildings more than 2 floors or 2 meters. It is necessary to conduct a visual inspection before the installation in case of any damage, looseness, falling, or other undesirable conditions for the parts. They shall not be used. To ensure the safety, the moving clamp must be tied tightly and the wearing method should be correct. The position for hanging the safety belt must be solid and reliable, and the impact force received may not be less than 6 times the weight of the installer. Safety rope should be low-hanging to avoid swinging collision. A buffer shall be used for a long rope with a length of 3 meters, and it is not allowed to tie the safety rope, and it shall be used by hanging on the connecting ring or 8-shaping ring. It is prohibited to tie the safety belt on the bracket of air conditioner to function as a safety protection equipment. The fall prevention measure shall be taken to the tools and materials in use. Try the best to avoid the wall cracks according to the selected position. Calibrate the bracket level with a level and draw the positioning holes and then remove the bracket. Bore the bracket holes with a hand drill, a bit with fixed depth with an angle of below 90%. Tap the expansion bolts of 10 by 100 millimeters. It will need 6 expansion bolts for the model of 18K or below, and it will need 8 expansion bolts for the model of more than 18K. The expansion tube of the bolts must be fully tapped to the wall. 5 pre-installed bracket onto the outer wall. While the outdoor unit is putting in place, the outdoor unit should be fastened tightly with a rope of sufficient strength or other safety measures to prevent the falling of the machine from height. More carefully the outdoor unit onto the bracket and fasten it with 4 10mm bolts. Be careful to make a treatment for the corner where the connecting pipe passes through the wall in order not to flatten the connecting pipe at this place. In addition, it is necessary to turn the drainage hole upward to prevent the water leakage of indoor unit due to the flattening of drainage holes. The bending radius should be as large as possible to prevent the flattening or breaking of the connecting pipe while bending the connecting pipe. Put the flare opening of connecting pipe and a shut-off valve in the same straight line and tighten the nuts by hand, and then fasten it by torque wrench. The torque of wrench shall refer to the set tables. Dismantle the large handle and wire clip of outdoor unit and align the wires by colors or numbers according to the requirements of wiring diagram posted on the large handle. The screw cannot be fastened unless the bare part of the wires must be fully inserted into the terminal. After completing the connection of pipelines of indoor and outdoor units, the pipelines should be vacuumized with a vacuum pump. Before the vacuumizing operation, observe whether the cursor indication and lubricant or vacuum pump is normal. Step 1. Connect the low pressure side of pressure gauge with the AC service valve and open the low pressure gauge. Then connect the injector of pressure gauge with a vacuum pump valve. Step 2. Turn on the vacuum pump. Step 3. Vacuumize it for 15 minutes or so. It shall be prolonged for 5 minutes for the lengthened pipe, as the pointer of vacuum pump is equals to or is smaller than minus 0.1 megapascal. Close the pressure gauge and then turn off the vacuum pump. Step 4. Observe the pointer of pressure gauge for 3 minutes to check whether it will be returned. If it returns, it means a leakage for the system, and it is necessary to detect and deal with the leakage and then vacuumize it until there's no leakage. Step 5. Open the high-pressure valve core a little after confirming there is no leakage. Close the valve as the low pressure, has reached 0.05 megapascal, and then quickly remove the pressure gauge to complete the vacuumizing operation. Valve opening. Fully open the high-pressure shut-off valve and tighten the valve core, and then fully open the low-pressure shut-off valve and tighten the valve core too. Leakage detection. Apply the leakage detector or dip the soap bubble with the rag at various interfaces or service valves of the outdoor unit to check whether there is any leakage, and the staying time for each point may not be less than 2 minutes. In addition to the 4 connections of the pipelines of indoor and outdoor units, the high and low pressure valve core and service valve core are the most likely to leak and easy to be overlooked, so they must be subject to a key inspection during the installation. The leaking joints shall be dealt with again. Clean the residual soapy water and tighten the nuts of valve cores and service valve after completing the leak detection. Caution: The connector of indoor unit shall be subject to a leak detection of the same way. If many outdoor units shall be mounted in the same wall or in the horizontal direction of the same building, it is recommended to mount all machines in the same level, subject to the level of machine foot, without affecting the performance of the machines, and meanwhile, the lateral spacing should be kept at least 60 centimeters. If many outdoor units shall be mounted in the same wall or in the vertical direction of the same building, it is recommended to mount the machines of different floors in the same vertical line without affecting the performance of the machines, subject to the machine body lying at the left side. To prevent the interference of return air and outlet air from each other, its longitudinal spacing shall be kept at least 65 centimeters. Installation of split-type cabinet, floor standing. For the sake of installation convenience and safety, an adequate space should be kept from the wall body while installing the standing cabinet. The space parameters are shown in the following diagram. Turn the cabinet to its back or side. Dismantle the corresponding pipe hole of the cabinet and access the connecting pipe into it. Turn it to the front. Unscrew the screws at air grill and open the front panel. Pull out the connecting pipe that is passed through the hole. Unfasten the dust cover and nut of corresponding connecting pipe. Check the qualification situation of the flare opening and then force them to keep in the same axis. Fasten the nuts with a hand and then tighten them with double spanners in a reasonable torque. Open the front panel and electrical panel and connect the power cords of indoor and outdoor units as per the wiring diagram attached on the cover of electrical box. Ensure each cord or wire is correctly and firmly connected. Install the wire clips. Connect the drain hose and wrap it closely with adhesive tapes to make sure of no water leakage. After compaction of pipelines and a vacuum pumping of the outdoor unit, conduct the leak detection of pipe interfaces with detergent foam or detector. After there is no leakage upon the leak detection, the insulation pipes are used to wrap or bind the fittings or expose the pipes and bind the drain hose. Connecting pipe and power cord with a belt wrapper to prevent the condensate. Finally, remount the electrical panel and front panel to complete the installation of standing indoor unit. The installation steps and requirement of floor standing outdoor unit is the same as split-type outdoor unit. Installation of window-mounted air conditioner. The installation position shall be sturdy and sufficient to withstand the weight of the unit. An adequate space shall be left around the part of inside and outside to facilitate the flow of air. Installation step. Gently press two sides of the casing. Pull the front panel forward, then push it upward. It is allowed to tap the top of casing while pushing it upward to take it out. Unscrew a screw at either side of the casing and two screws in the back. Tightly grasp the handle of machine chassis to pull the casing to separate it from the machine. It is required to keep an inclination outward to facilitate the drainage of condensate when installing the casing. Mount the casing at the selected position by screws. Please consult the following diagram for specific position parameters when installing the casing. Push the AC into the casing horizontally and mount the 4 screws that have been unscrewed. Mount the front panel. Disposal method of condensate. Use rubber plug to block the drainage hole in the chassis rear. Mount the drainage nozzle at the bottom of the chassis, and then connect the drainage hose to drain the condensate to the lower drainage pipe of the building. The back drainage method can also be used. This method can improve the condensation effect of the machine, but the premise is that it cannot affect other people because the condensate can be brought out from the side of the machine if this method is used. Trial run. Inspection prior to trial run. It is strictly prohibited to power on the machine before the safety inspection is completed. It is necessary to check whether the internal wires of the units are in a good status, especially the alignment of connecting wires and the grounding reliability. Check whether the bare wires are wholly pressed tightly. The final safety inspection shall be performed before the energization of the machine. Switch it on and ensure a firm contact. Use the remote controller of mechanical switch to start the machine. Check whether there is any obvious noise of the indoor and outdoor units, whether the machine shakes. If any, please commission it until it can normally work. Check whether the water drainage of the indoor unit is smooth. Take a glass of water to shower onto the evaporator of indoor unit to check the drainage condition. Use the remote controller to adjust the indoor fan to shift the modes among high, medium, and low and test the flexibility of swing. As for the standing air conditioner, the operating test of operating panel shall be exercised. The machine may respond to it under the normal condition if the test is made by pressing the keys one by one. Pickup of tools. Pick up all tools and carefully pack the mattress to prevent the garbage and dust on the mattress from contaminating the floor. Restore the items of the user, including furniture, etc., and sweep the floor to ensure the site is clean and tidy. Completion of installation report. After it can normally work after the trial run, the installer must record in detail the AC operating voltage, current, system pressure, temperature difference of outlet and inlet air and other data in refrigeration or heating mode. In case of any odor, burning smell or smoke, or other abnormality, the installer must stop the machine immediately and check and deal with abnormality. If it is caused for the reason of the user, the installer shall propose the recommendations to improve. Instruct the user to use the AC. After packing the site, instruct the user to use the air conditioner AC. After the AC is energized, operate the remote controller to introduce in detail the operation methods of the remote controller to the user, including the function and operation of each key, how to judge that the batteries of the remote controller is running low, and how to replace the batteries, and remind the user to disconnect the power supply and take out the batteries from the remote controller if the AC will not be used for a long time. Introduce the detachment and cleaning method of the filter to the user and personally demonstrate it until the user is proficient. The cleaning frequency shall vary in different environments, but generally once every 2 months. In addition, remind the user to keep the airflow of outdoor until to prevent the debris from blocking the condenser to affect the cooling effect or heat dissipation. Farewell to the user. When seeking advice from the user, the installer shall say, "This advice is coming to an end. Do you have any other requirement? Or do you have any comment or suggestion on our work?" When user expressing the views, the installer should say, "Thank you very much for your cooperation. I will feedback truly your comments to our company. When presenting the business card to the user, the installer should say, "Please feel free to contact us if there is any service demand in the future, and we would be happy to help you." When stepping out from the user's house, the installer should say to the user, "Goodbye." Conclusion. We hope that all customers and installers can strictly enforce the installation specification and establish after-sales service team to offer top-quality installation services to the users. The ultimate power of interpretation for this demonstration video of the installation is reserved by TCL Air Conditioner Company Limited. Apart from the internal use only, it can also be used for training of customer service outlets. Any unauthorized sales and spread is strictly prohibited. The legal responsibility will be investigated against any offender. We will continue to improve and supplement the installation specification of TCL air conditioner, and we hope the customers around the world can make the valuable comments and suggestions. Thank you.